What is up, guys? It's Clay here with, you guessed it, Pro Glass Windshield Repair. Back at it with another windshield repair video. Today, we will be talking about, is the windshield repair industry profitable? This video is for anybody out there who is considering starting their own windshield repair business. And before doing so, trying to figure out, is it something that is profitable? If that is you, this video is for you. Stick around. You might find this useful. Besides backing out your bits on the back, if you have a question, here or there. Starting out in, is the windshield repair industry profitable? Let's talk about some numbers. Let's talk about the market size in the windshield repair industry, in the auto glass industry. In 2021, the market cap in the United States in the auto glass industry was about $15.2 billion. Yes, billion, that is billion with a B. So, it is a very large industry, and the question is it growing? Is it continuing to grow in billions, or is it going down? In 2024, currently, the auto glass industry is at about $19.86 billion in the United States. So it has grown by roughly $5 billion since 2021. In 2027, it is projected to grow another $10 billion, and in just 3 years' time, be at $30.6 billion in the United States alone in 2027, like I said. And in 2034, 10 years from now, it is projected to be at about $52.71 billion. 10 years from now, it is projected to be roughly $30 billion bigger. This is the market size for the United States alone. And this is mainly because of, or at least this is my observation, and maybe it's not just my observation, it's kind of also an obvious thing. But, if you're not in the industry, I wouldn't expect you to know this, but nowadays with all the vehicles that they are making them with a lot of technology in them. A lot of technological advancements, of course, are occurring in the manufacturing of vehicles. And so as a result of that, the cost for replacements, it is growing, for windshield replacements, is growing a lot. Okay. It is not uncommon for a windshield replacement to be more than $1,000 nowadays. Now, of course, it can vary, and I don't do windshield replacements, so I'm not going to speak a lot on this. But I've heard windshields can be anywhere from $250 to $2,500. I mean, if you get like a Bentley or a super high-end vehicle, they can be even more than that, over $10,000. Now, those are more rare cases, but still, you get the point. Windshield replacements are no longer going to be really cheap services, just a couple $100 service. They are beginning to be a lot more expensive. And I am assuming that this is one of the main contributors to why the market is growing so much. So it is growing rapidly. Right now it's at $19.86 billion, like I said. And in 10 years from now, it is projected to be more than double that. So that is rapid growth. That is very fast growth. And of course, more costly replacements, windshield replacements being a lot more expensive. This is going to create a lot more opportunity for windshield repair businesses because people are able to save a lot of money by not having to replace the entire windshield, by having another option. Okay, in the United States in 2024, there is roughly 296.6 million registered vehicles. Okay, so by looking at that number, we come to the conclusion that there is definitely a lot of potential customers. So that is another good thing. The market size is huge, and there is a lot of potential customers. And to add on to that, roughly 74% of those vehicles, according to Ultrabond Windshield Repair, a very well-known windshield repair company, they did parking lot surveys, and according to these parking lot surveys, roughly 74% of those vehicles have some kind of damage in the windshield, a rock chip, a crack. So 74% of 296.6 million vehicles, you do the math. It is quite a large number of potential customers. Windshield repair as a service, it's a lot different than a lot of other things. It is more of a necessity. It's more of an urgent service too. A lot of people, when they get a rock chip or a crack in their windshield, if they have just some basic knowledge on the potential of a rock chip spreading, there's a lot of urgency around getting the repair done. It is very much a necessity. It's not one of these luxurious services that somebody gets to simply enjoy, right? It is a necessity, okay? So people are always going to need windshield repair. Otherwise, they'll have no choice but to replace it and not just if, but when that rock chip or crack grows. Okay, so that is a good selling point. Another piece of data is that windshield replacement claims is actually the #1 insurance claim in the United States. So if it is the #1 insurance claim in the United States, that means that a lot of people, once again, have damaged windshields. And yeah, sure, they're getting new windshields, they're not getting it repaired. However, think about this. Most of those people who make an insurance claim to get a new windshield, at some point, that damage on their windshield probably started out as a rock chip, a little rock chip, or a crack. And if you would have been able to come in there and say, hey, I can repair this for X amount of money, a fraction of the cost of the replacement, well, it's just a very great way to market yourself, and it's a very easy way to grow a business. Now let's get into the margins for windshield repair. Before I do so, windshield replacements, as I said, can be very costly. So windshield repairs being a fraction of the cost is a great selling point. On average in the country, windshield repair technicians and companies are charging on average anywhere from $85 to $125 for a rock chip repair, and slightly more for longer crack types of repairs. Now I am on the higher end of that. I actually charge about $129 to $149. That's always the range I give a customer. This is not for fleet accounts. Fleet accounts I do have at about $60 to $70, somewhere right in there. But normal retail or residential customers will call them, where they call me and I go to their house. I'm charging at least $129, sometimes $149, $139. The majority of what I do is fleet accounts, so I don't have as much data there, but I do get those calls. It's still a fraction of the cost of a replacement, so it is a great selling point. Now let's talk about the margins of those repairs, those $85 to $125 dollar repairs, or if you're where I'm at, a little more. How much of that is profit? because a lot of businesses out there that you could get into, you can make a lot of money. The tickets on the jobs are very high, but when you look into the cost of materials, it's 50% of the cost of the job, how much they're making on the job. So if you have a job that is $1,000, that's great, but if $500 of that is going towards materials, you're only making 50% of that $1,000. Okay, and this is something that is great about the windshield repair industry, is you will practically be spending cents per repair you do, maybe $1. Okay, even if it is $1, even if it's $2, the profit margins are almost 99%. Okay, now this isn't including any other expenses you have as a business. We're simply talking about material, job, like the cost of job supplies and how much you make on the job. Okay, other than buying the tools to initially get started, you will not have to invest a lot of money reoccurring for materials. The only things that you have to buy reoccurring to continue the business and to continue doing repairs is windshield repair resin, polish to polish the pit when you're done, and a glass cleaner. Now, I've been using the same little bottle of polish. It's about that big for a year now. And it was maybe $20. I actually don't know. I didn't buy it, but it couldn't have been expensive. So $20 for a little bottle of polish, because you're using so little every time. And it's the same thing with glass cleaner. It's the same thing with windshield repair resin. So for example, I actually have something here. Let's take a look at this. This is Magnabond by Delta Kits. Okay, this is, it's 250, right? This is a 250 milliliter bottle of windshield repair resin. That bottle cost about $350. Now, before you go, whoa, that is crazy. I've had this bottle since I started, and it is still, I got it like 3/4 of the way full from a friend of mine, and it's still like 1/4 of the way full. So I've used about half the bottle, $350, and I haven't had to buy a new one since. And I've been doing windshield repairs since last year in about August, July, August. So, you do the math. Like, even if this only got me 350 repairs, which, by the way, it gets way more than that, way more. Even if it did only get me 350 repairs, that's $1 per repair. $1 per repair. So still, that's $1 for resin per repair. And if I'm charging $125 for a rock chip repair, the margins are still great. And like I said, the only other two things that you have to get reoccurring is your pit polish to polish off the pit, which is going to be a lot less than that, and your glass cleaner, which is same thing. Those bottles are like $8, $9, and the glass cleaner bottle will last you months and months and months, because you're only using a little bit to clean the area that you did, that you repaired. So here's another thing. It is the 15 milliliter bottles. This is a warm weather gray tinted windshield repair resin by Glassweld. This costs roughly $35. It's a 15 milliliter bottle. And out of the 15 milliliter bottles, just to give you another idea, maybe a better idea, you get at least 100 repairs, if not more. Okay, so $35 over 100 repairs. That is what, maybe 35 cents a repair you do. So the cost is very, very low. And when you get into business, having very, very low cost, very low overhead, it takes away a lot of stress. It makes it so much easier. It makes doing the business a lot more enjoyable and a lot more easier to run. So that's going to wrap it up for is the windshield repair industry profitable? And if you want to see more videos like this, leave a like, leave a comment. If you have a suggestion on a video you would like to see, leave it in the comments, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.